Welcome to the Mike and Matt Show.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Matt. I think we need to come up with a new name.
Yeah, just with that interaction right there was a little fruity. In a way.
Hello, Mike.
But Trace, unfortunately, we should keep it Mike and Matt. And that's how we... Hey, Matt. Did you see the new Barbie movie?
Mike, I have not yet.
Well, the wife made me go.
I would, but I don't think I can.
Oh, I had this pink suit on last night.
This is what the people want.
That's what we want. They don't want what we're talking about, bug out bags and dry vaginas. They don't want that. They don't want that.
No, they don't want that. Hi, Trace.
What's going on?
Did you guys, Trace here in the studio along with Matt Lloyd, did you guys ever work together?
No.
Okay, so he was full-time long after you were gone.
Yeah. A couple years, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think like 3 or 4 years at least.
Excuse me, and he got the worst. Welcome to the Mike and Matt Show, by the way. He got the worst deal ever. He got a taste. He got a nice taste of being on, because he came on and we went number 1 on the Bone when you were there, right?
Yeah.
So he comes on, we go to the Bone, fucking crush it, beat MJ,
Woo!
number 1.
Wait, not the Bone.
No, was it not the Bone?
No, it'd be the Shark.
Oh,
or whatever.
Were you on the Bone?
There's so
I was
many.
there when we went to the Bone.
I thought we were 1025. I swear.
Well, maybe we were already number 1.
Okay.
When he came on. Because we were still on, we were still on the Bone.
But was that really number 1, or was it due to rating scandals?
That
You never know.
I don't know. I only know of one specific case. And I know for sure about that.
Oh.
But me, not until it was right in my face in the newspaper. I didn't know nothing. Nobody told me nothing. No, nobody.
I can tell you and show you some stuff later if you want.
I'd love to know.
Oh, craziness. But
so
you got a taste.
So he's driving around with B Fudd, a mildly mentally challenged person.
It was a good time, even though after you got used to it, hanging out with B Fudd, it wasn't a big deal. At the beginning, you're like, oh my, it's hard to
a real culture shock, huh?
This is over, guys. Is this guy a weirdo? I think he might be a weirdo. And so he's with Tuttle. They do Buds, Tuds, and Fuds, a show on IO. They do it after the Bone show. And it's a good show. They get getting popular and everything. And Bubba hires Trace full-time for like $31,000. And, if you're in your 20s and that's your first radio job full-time, that's a sweet deal. So he had that deal going on. Everybody, loving it. And then, only a short time later, we were on AM. And he got his slashed.
Oh my God, it was terrible.
What, your salary cut?
Just every day you'd just be like, "You're doing great," but
however,
less money.
Yeah, less money.
He got with the shit sandwich compliment. Like, hey man, everything's good, but
you're getting better. You're getting better, but that maybe I should have tried getting worse.
And then was there the false hope of? But we're going to get back there, buddy.
I mean, there was invites to his house about these promises of TV shows, of different radio stations. Oh, it was just, I had to call out of my second job to go, shoot a pilot for a movie we're going to pitch or some
God.
shit.
Yeah, he was giving it hook, line, and sinker, man.
And did you bit, or did your dear old dad here try to talk you out of it and have your back on some level? Like, did you let him
I think we
go with it?
It took till we got out of it to realize how duped we were, both of us. I think the whole time we're just like, oh, he was getting used to it to where he was like, 20 years of being told, something's coming. I think he finally got it. But I was only in year 4 or 5.
You're like a child of divorce. Dad's going to come over. He's going to pick you up this weekend. You're like, okay.
Daddy.
And then you are 18 years old. You're like, Dad still hasn't shown up.
Daddy never came. Daddy never came. The thing.
I'm the 4-year-old brother. Like, is Daddy coming?
He's coming. And I'm the stupid brother. I've been around a long time. Yeah, he's coming. This time he's coming. This time
it's for real. He said he was going to be here at 2:00 on Saturday.
But actually, I had reason to, probably not at the time, but the track record was, bam, down to 0. back to number 1. Bam, down to 0. Sirius, bam, down to 0. The Bone, bam, down to 0. 98.7. Then it was bam, down to 0 forever. And I didn't realize there was no more.
I think once you hit AM, there's no bouncing back.
No, the market dropped off. Your stock went bankrupt.
I told Matt last week, Trace. I was like, one time I was walking. It was, things weren't looking good. We're on the AM, and nothing was looking good. And I was walking out of the room, and I went, so what are the prospects for our, this venture we're doing next year? What are we going to do? And he goes, I don't know, Cody. I don't know.
When the liar is out of lies, it's came to an end.
And I went, okay, see you tomorrow.
That is a good point, Trace, because that's not even an attempt to lie anymore.
He was trying to tell me.
See, I gotta
no
give
lies
him
credit.
left.
I gotta give him credit. He was like, what do I gotta do to make this guy leave?
Ember's got no clothes left. Got no clothes. Oh, wow. I did notice.
Writing was on the wall.
I did notice your video, because all this, it's been a week. Since you and I connected last, it's been a week. And wow, what a week. That's all I have to say, because all of the drama with Calta and all this stuff. And last week, if you remember, I said, hey.
Yes, I do.
Look, it's season, okay? We're going to see who makes it to the playoffs. We're going to see, how this thing plays out, right? That's what I equate it to, because I was telling him, you've got this player. You got a couple players who, one, is performing at his peak when he's got an axe to grind, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going, how is this going to go? And a week
It's
later,
fascinating.
yeah, a week later, he's out of the playoffs. Game 1, he took an L. But I did notice your video. He was utilizing your video with Calta's interaction quite a bit.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
What they just? I mean,
The
it was
encounter.
It was insane. It was.
Can you blame the guy?
Almost no, but I mean, I barely knew who the guy was. I was there just interviewing random people, and somebody was like, "That's Mike Calta right there. Go say something to him, Trace." And I've heard he was crazy or whatever from, I've been brainwashed by one guy.
Yeah.
But then to go and actually, hold the mic up and be like, I just asked him the same thing I had asked everybody else there doing it. Have you ever heard of Buffalo Sponge? I was in interviewing mode.
And he saw red.
And he just fucking saw red and grabbed my mic and threw it. I mean,
Well, you're hard-hitting journalism. So you're telling me that wasn't a setup?
no.
Oh, I was of the assumption that it was kind of pre-planned of going, hey, go here and ask him.
No, not at all. I mean,
That was just by happenstance.
It could have been.
Happenstance.
It could have been.
Okay.
There's a possibility that he heard that he was going to be there and sent me and didn't tell me, and
That's
figured
that's
I'd end up
strong
interviewing him
possibility.
or some shit.
Well, that was a funny video, but I was curious, and you say Calta's crazy, and I do know he's got a bit of a New York hot streak in him, right?
He's got a
yeah.
short fuse. He's got a short fuse.
But I will say, I was thinking about it. I'm going back to way back in the day, Feather Sound, okay?
Yeah.
Way back in 98, probably.
Sounds
And
about
there was a
right.
crazy listener that came down to the studio to essentially, I don't know if he was trying to kill people or what he was doing. He was a real psycho listener.
Yeah.
And I was, just watching this thing go down. I remember watching Cowhead take this guy, shove him across the room, right? Then take him out, open up the door with his head. Smashed his head on the handle of a door. Not like he pushed him out. There was a door handle. The guy's head down, and then, he threw him the hell out. Now, to Calta's credit, the guy probably deserved
Yeah.
it. But you're going, I wouldn't mess with that guy.
How-
He's
I
a
wouldn't
big
mess with
guy.
him.
He's a big guy.
How
he's a
long
big
did
guy.
that video go on for? The one that you were watching the other day with me in it? Because I think they cut it off and edited it out the crazy shit.
I couldn't imagine that.
But he throw the mic. My friend goes to pick up the mic and he kicks it, and then he kicks him in the back of the leg. And then does it show us all running around the whole thing, being chased by Mike Calta and stuff?
Did he chase you?
Oh, I
It's
mean,
like a movie scene.
That's hilarious.
I wish if I would have just taken the hit, I could have been like a millionaire, right? Like if I would have just stood there. But he came at me full, just like trying to truck me, and just being like, I was just like moved like 10 steps, and he went right by.
Well,
But if I would have just taken the charge for the
Should've
team,
taken
man.
it, man.
taking the charge. It's not basketball. I mean, this is, you
Should
know,
have taken it.
so you're viewing things as a personal foul, like it's a flagrant.
I just taking that punch in the face for the team, man.
Yeah.
So get that money. Get that money.
You know, I'm not to like sue Happy or anything. I've never sued anybody. I'm just saying.
I see. I'm not
I'd,
either.
I'd settle for a couple
Not
grand.
either. But look at
Bro, I've been sued like 20 times in the last couple of years. It's crazy. It's nuts to get sued. The
looking
amount of
back, I
times.
should have sued some people.
Oh, definitely.
I should have sued some people.
Yeah, you probably still have some opportunity.
I know I do.
I tell
should-
him all the time. I said, Farah and Farah. It's a free consultation.
They
Free
say that as,
consultation.
yeah, they don't really. Well, I'm not going to say that firm in general. I don't know, but
I
the
don't-
free consultation thing's always a bit of a rib. They want to know more about your case before they're going to consult with you. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to know, is this a lock or not? Like, is there
Yeah.
actually opportunity?
There's
here?
something there for sure.
Which is interesting because if you talk about if you're going back to the Calta stuff, and again, wow, what a week, right? But like, where does that go from here? Is there civil litigation in the works?
That's the only thing else there could be, and it's possible there could be.
And that seems like it seems like sort of a bitch move. Am I wrong? I mean, would you, if that was you or your wife, is that a? And I'm trying to look at this completely objectively.
Like what he did. Like was it? Is it worth being charged? Is that what you're trying to say?
That, but then we've already seen that that's not in the cards, right? So then
Yeah.
the next step is just civil litigation. But I think I was telling you the civil litigation thing is weird because she would be the client, right? The cuck has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
She would be the client. And I'm no attorney, but I would imagine if she's the client, she would get the settlement. Now, if she gets a settlement, how's he going to take advantage of that settlement? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean,
Where's
it's
the
just gonna
long game? Where does it go from here? Or it goes nowhere.
Look, I'm sure. You know
I'm
what?
sure there's a crazy plan. I mean,
I'm
but
sure
only
there's-
I think there's only one person that knows the answer to
A
your
real
question.
scheme getting cooked up? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
It's a crazy plan, and it's not going to work out. I mean, it's
There's
you know,
only one
unfortunately,
person that knows the answer to that question.
I think everybody knows the answer. The answer, yeah, it's gonna, like I'm not gonna get into the specific schemes.
Was
We
anything
get
we're
bogged down in specific schemes?
was anything we were doing down there legal? Like, like if Tuttle was to call Farrah and Farrah tomorrow and be like, yeah, today, some guy shoved a funnel up my ass and then shot me with an airsoft until I bled, would Farrah and Farrah be like, oh yeah, we got you, we're gonna get you $1 million?
That's an interesting question because that. If you look at radio from the outside in, that's a hostile work environment. Like slam dunk, how much money do you want? There's never been a more hostile radio environment for certain morning shows through the ages, like
Sure.
the Stern Show and our show. But you sign up for it.
Yeah, you're almost complicit.
You sign up for it, but it doesn't make it right because you get abused. It's like I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Well, then what's the difference between working at a radio station and working in a kitchen? Like, is there different legalities of that?
I just don't think anybody has ever sued. But like back in the day, you're not going to win that. But now I'm thinking you come up with a hostile and then he made me take my pants off.
Well, but that's why,
And
and
then
that's
he
why
made
the,
me lick this, and you'd be
Right.
like, "Oh, well, this guy."
And that's
gets
why
it."
the business has
I'm not saying that I didn't sign up for that and I wasn't, a willing participant. I'm just saying, wouldn't I? If I did sue, I would win. Absolutely, right?
there was when I first started. There was a girl. I'm not going to mention who it was, and I'm not even going to mention the station. We all kind of know the timeline. But she was upset because the girls that had come in, the porn stars, had like squirted on the chairs.
Oh yeah.
And
That was me that complained about that, actually.
Was it?
No.
I was going to say.
At one time it
A
was.
different time. That was a different squirt on
You
the
weren't
chair.
there for that episode, so let's move on.
Yeah. So, but this girl's just trying to do her show, and she doesn't have a decent chair around because there's god awful fluids floating everywhere. And at the time, I was kind of like going, "What's she so bent out of shape about?" Right? But then I'm going, "Well, why should she have to sit in this jizz-soaked chair to do her show?" And it was a real beef between
Oh, it was huge.
Everybody involved.
Yeah.
And again, looking back on it, she's completely in the right. That's not her. She didn't sign up for that, or did she? I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, I was kind of on her side, but then I had to endure the constant, other story. And I think so eventually you're just like, whatever. Why don't you just lighten up?
Eventually the brainwashing got you.
Yeah, the Chinese water torture,
Which we did too.
for like 3 years.
We did waterboarding.
Did it all.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know where that thing goes. I think it's hilarious though.
Jack Mahogoff subscribed for 28 months. Thank you very much. Jack
28
Mahogoff.
months.
Uncut Meaty Mandingo's. Oh, we got a mix going on. Uncut Meaty Mandingo's subscribed for, I think it's 50. It said 53 months.
How do you even know you're going to be alive in 53 months?
53. He's been subscribed for 53 months.
Oh.
That's the track.
I'm going to subscribe for 53 more months
A random number.
before I die.
4 years and 2 months is how long I want to be. I think I'll be sick of the show by then.
Yeah, I should be dead by then.
I'll wrap that shit up.
53 months.
One way or another. If I'm still alive in 53 months.
I'll re-up, but not for that long.
I'm making a commitment.
Yeah, that really is a commitment. He just signed a car lease.
My O2 Bucks plans on being around for 49 more months. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. Uncut Mito's gifted 890 subs.
Wait, he
Phenomenal.
gifted 890 subs?
He gifted one.
Oh.
But he's up to 890. He's a madman. Bubba's Rattler.
These stats are crazy to me. I'm trying to figure out this out.
It's like Moneyball, man. It's like Moneyball. Everything is metrics here. We have to go by algorithms and everything. I have no idea what I'm doing.
He doesn't even know what he's saying.
I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. This is how I make my living.
Moneyball was a great movie. Kind of, sort of.
I didn't see it.
Oh.
I just know what it is. He'll have 100 bits.
I had friends that were playing in the MLB at that time when Moneyball was around, and if you ask them about it now and being a part of that, they're like, these metrics are such bullshit.
I think.
Such bullshit. I don't even remember when I was a kid.
Like a total bullshit.
Pitch count. When did they start pitch count? I don't recall as a kid ever watching a baseball game and them going, well, he's up to 53 pitches now, and he's only probably got another. They have a constant
It's a made up
count.
thing. It's a made up.
It was like you'd have a pitcher pitch until their
was
arm
tired.
fell off, and that was it.
The complete game is not a thing anymore. Trace, he doesn't know that much baseball. But he
No.
would have never witnessed a complete game in his life. When I was growing up, that was the thing. It was like, man, he went 9, and they're like complete game victory.
It didn't even seem uncommon.
They don't get past 6 now. Bring in the guy throwing 100 miles an hour.
That doesn't even seem like a real sport if you're not playing the whole. You're the main guy and you don't play the whole game.
Well, the worst is you'll get that guy who they'll yank him in like the 8th, and he's almost got a complete game, and they're just going, sorry, buddy,
Here's
gotta
what
go.
It says on the sheet that we should yank you. And I know you got a great heart, but tough shit. We're yanking you.
The late great Joe Kennedy, who was a pitcher friend of mine, he was amazing at everything from throwing a ball to boozing to just life, right?
Yeah.
He was just a solid dude. And he always liked being, I guess it would be the relief pitcher, the closer. I don't know what you would consider it, right?
Yeah.
But you
Closer's usually the
pitch
guy,
like
the
whenever,
money guy.
yeah, like once every 5 days or something like that. And then the best part is he'd come in for maybe the specialty pitch because he was lefty. So
Yeah.
he'd go in for like 1 or 2 batters. Didn't even.
A lot of times, it's the one guy. You're just going for one guy, the lefty. Like, bring the lefty on the lefty, then get the fuck out of here.
Yep. And he was like, well, that's a short day of work for me. And he would go
Yeah.
back to doing his life.
Oh, hang on. What do we got? Wrong one. we got a hype train. 2 minutes left. I didn't notice the hype train.
Hype train.
Hype train level 2. Probably too late. It'd take a lot of action in 2 minutes to get the deal going.
To get what deal going?
The hype train. It's almost over.
In 2 minutes, it's all day, man.
2 minutes is all. Trace says 2 minutes is all day. He's like Vince
It's all we
Lombardi.
need.
He's like Aaron Rodgers. Give him 2 minutes, he can do anything. He's Tom Brady. He's the Tom Brady of hype trains. Way to go, Trace.
He's running the 2-minute hype train offense.
He's running the Trace.
Yeah.
Bring Trace in for the
Bring
2
it in.
minute hype train.
Bring in the lefty for the 2-minute hype train.
Yeah.
He's got one timeout. Bubba's Rattler 100 bits. Look at it. You got us 100 bits, Trace.
Yeah.
Driven Too Far says, this is awesome. It sounds like old times, only better. More to laugh about. Hope to hear Matt and Mike more.
Hi, Mike.
What?
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Matt. I think we went off the rails, Matt. It took a dark turn.
Did it?
I think we need to go to rehab so we can go get back on Joy 94.1. They would love us. All we got to do is take the Lord and Savior into our heart. Level 2, hype train, 12%. Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Come on, man.
Trace, you're not doing a good Tom Brady job here.
I know. I'm giving up. Fuck it.
was
Throw it
quick.
in the towel.
That is,
Throw it in the towel. Throw it in the towel.
that's kind of that's Trace if he was Tom Brady.
Well, guys, that was real. We've only got 1:40 left, so I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm 45 years old, man. I'm going back to the hotel and watch TV. I said, like, if I was Tom Brady and I'd won like one Super Bowl, I'd be like, I would have dialed it way down. I was like, I got the Super Bowl. Maybe I'll get another one, but I'm not work so hard anymore.
Nah, I mean,
Right?
get up,
How
maybe
many
get
do you
3.
need?
Maybe get 3 before you completely.
Instead, he's showing off his fingers. I would be more apt to just cut off a finger and go, yep, my fingers have all the rings.
All the rings.
All my fingers are full.
You know, and to wear your 7 rings out to anything other than a Pro Bowl ceremony is kind of like super tacky and kind of makes you a douche.
You
But I
douche.
think I would do it.
You have to.
I would have to do it. I would have to do it. I got 7
All
of these.
7
bitches.
of them. Though. You can't wear all. You can't even, like, you couldn't
Every
go to a
once in a
restaurant
while.
and eat with.
Eat crab legs with 7 rings on.
Getting stuff all over you. Fucking rings. You do it on purpose to make a scene. And they're going, look, he can't even eat with all those rings. That's
Lick
a
the
lot
fingers.
of rings. Licking his, sucking it out of the crevice of his ring.
I had
Some sushi with chopsticks.
the Bucks Super Bowl ring. I had one on, right? So, and it looked huge on me. I mean, it's a big ring, okay? The rub is it wasn't even a guy's ring. It was the girl. It was the cheerleaders get a ring. Okay, even that thing on my finger was gaudy.
yeah.
The only difference was obviously, besides I think the size, was it didn't open up the top to where the players one had the little mini stadium on the inside.
Yeah, it's getting
Pretty cheesy
preposterous.
right there.
It's getting preposterous.
It was pretty crazy. It was a crazy design. Like, hey man, let's put a stadium inside the ring.
It's got and the roof comes off.
It's got there's a teeny little golden football inside the stadium.
Here's the church and here's the steeple. Open the ring and here's all the people.
It's gonna be so cool. So what are they gonna have to top that? What are they gonna top it with? That, you know, it's gonna be like ridiculous, like like some skit where a guy's got to hold his hand up because the ring's up to here.
Some real Liberace shit.
real bullshit, real mechanical stuff. Drones fly out of it and everything.
They are crazy. The MLB rings are pretty sweet though. They're tacky, but they're tacky in a good way.
I think it's just too much. The NFL rings, you know, it's fine for it to be big and good, but I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We had to put 1,000 diamonds on it and 16 rubies. And, you know, something.
There was the mascot, the old mascot for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, way back in the day. And keep in mind, this mascot was making bank, right? Think about this, like
Was he in
20
the
something years
costume?
ago.
Was he in the costume?
He was in the costume, and I think he was pulling down like 6 figures a year, right?
It's possible.
At that time. I don't know how it works now, but at that time, he was the Thunderbug guy, right?
Yeah.
But he also got the ring, and he would sport that thing like a boss. He would strategically set
Yeah,
up
of course.
at the bar and have the LED light shine down on it and he would just sit there, and he wasn't a small dude, so you could have girls mistaken him for a player or something like that, right? And he would soak up. He was just dripping in vagina whenever
The
he
mascot.
wanted. Yeah.
Bucko Bruce.
Killing
Was
it.
he Bucko Bruce? Or
No,
is that-
no, he was Thunderbug.
the lightning guy. I thought
Yeah.
you said, okay.
Bucko
Thunderbug?
Bruce.
Thunderbug.
I didn't
See, at
even.
least
I
Bucko
thought
Bruce is like, he's a a man.
He's a man.
He's a rugged man. I mean, the Thunderbug is like.
Well, he's in a costume. Like,
I
who's
know,
even
but-
gonna know?
Well, the Thunderbug, like
Just the
I
image
honestly
is like
didn't know that was like a job for one person. I thought it was like whoever
Anybody who-
came and hung over that day or something. It was like, oh, you got to go do the Thunderbug.
I think now they just have interns do it. I'm not
Yeah,
sure how it
yeah.
works now, but I think they really moved away from that model of paying somebody.
Yeah, they
to
did.
show
They
up in
did
a costume.
because they don't need to. They make enough money charging you $500 a seat.
Yeah.
They back in the day, mascots used to be better. I don't. You're probably too young. You don't remember the San Diego Chicken, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, so
But-
he was. Do you remember the San Diego Chicken?
Faintly.
Okay, well, he was actually like if you watch baseball or sports, you knew of the San Diego Chicken because he was the only funny mascot. He actually did, he's got a highlight reel. He did some funny stuff, and so he was making like $600,000 a year, and he'd fly over the country and was like, the San Diego Chicken's got to be here. So that was the last guy, and they were like, nah, let's just get the interns to do it.
Well, what's the deal with the Savannah Bananas? I keep
it's
hearing
a
about the
whole
Savannah
deal.
Bananas,
Whole
but I
I don't know.
what-
I'm torn if it's the dumbest thing I ever seen or the greatest thing I ever seen.
So they're a
You know?
baseball team, but they're not a baseball team. Like where they just
It's
get
the
out there and-
wrestling. It's professional wrestling of
well-
baseball.
Well, who
But
do they play against?
Well, it's just like the Globetrotters. It's real
Okay.
basketball, and they do play. Like the Harlem Globetrotters. They kind of played for real for a little bit. Probably for their own entertainment because they got 4 quarters,
Mm-hmm.
and then they do some razzle dazzle in some quarters. And the Savannah Bananas, they do a lot of wacky stuff, but. Holy shit! That was loud thunder.
Ooh.
We're gonna go off the air. Shit. They do it. They do it real, and where guys get really thrown out, and they're really, But it's a work, and there's all kind of crazy stuff going. And we've seen videos of it. And it's actually, it's kind of funny. It's like they do some funny stuff.
I mean, it has to be more entertaining than just watching baseball.
I think it is. I'm like, we were gonna go actually, but you can't get tickets. Because people are crazy about
Sold
this.
out.
sold
They
out
sold out
for
their
months
whole,
in advance.
Their whole tour,
What?
their whole first tour was completely sold out.
Now, do they have named players here? Like, are there XMLB guys, or is it just?
It looks like a
Because I
bunch
feel
of
like I saw Johnny Damon in the Savannah Bananas jersey for some reason, but I don't know if it was.
probably just to be cool. They probably gave him he was like came to the Savannah Bananas game. And they
Sure,
gave
I'll
it-
go to the Savannah Bananas game.
They got. I mean, it's pretty entertaining. I'd go just one time. I'd never go again, but I'd go
Just
one
see
time.
what it's about,
I always wanted to go to the Globetrotters. I never actually went to one of those games, but I would be interested to see it and see how it all goes.
It's only good as a child. Because I took somebody to go see it. Maybe
I
you
went to
could.
see him, but
It was terrible.
I remember being like, the memory of it, I can tell it was like 4. I might have been like 4 years old, and I don't remember being able to grasp what was going on.
I just know that all those guys have like basically one specialty.
Generally, yeah, dribbling.
So then, what happens if they miss that shot or mess up? Like that was their one thing they got to do. If he's really good at
He does it again. They give it to pass it back to him. Say, do it again.
at some point as the defense, I feel like I'd have to know what was coming.
Oh, it's choreographed.
You know?
Yeah.
They traveled.
I know this
think.
guy's going to go through his legs because that's all he does.
I'm thinking they traveled at a team.
He's wide. He's
Yeah, there you go.
I remember meeting Curly in the studio. We had Curly in. The
Curly Neal.
Yeah, and nice guy. I really wish I had gotten a basketball signed by him, honestly, looking back at it. That would have been a pretty cool item to have. But that's the only Globetrotters I know, and I only know that one because they used to have him on the cartoon on Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
that's where a lot of kids know him from.
That was the only thing I knew the Globetrotters from. It was like, oh, the guys from Scooby-Doo. Like, that's how I equated it in my brain. I didn't know they were around.
They like for then they got the new Globetrotters, and I think they're still going. But I think back in the day there was a team that traveled with them. They were like the Washington Generals or something.
Yes.
And there was a bunch of white schleps that would get beat by the Globetrotters.
Real short shorts, I imagine.
Yeah, every single night. I don't
Making
think,
them look just completely white.
I don't think they ever beat the Globe. That was because it was a gimmick. It's like professional
Yeah,
wrestling,
it's a gimmick.
traveling from town to town, and that's a pretty good gig. Lose at basketball to the Globetrotters every night.
I feel like I read a story. I could be completely incorrect. I feel like I read a story where the Generals beat them like one time.
I'm trying to think, like they threw him some kind of bone one
Yeah,
time.
I was
Yeah,
about
like
to
they
say.
keep 'em hanging
I
on
bet
or
they threw him a
something.
bone like once a year,
like
maybe.
one
like-
game.
Oh my god!
Which, if you're on that bus, just a demoralizing
I know.
tour.
I think the Globetrotters got together and look, these guys are going to kill themselves. If we don't let them win once a year, they're just all going to kill themselves.
At the same time, I never, at least to my knowledge, seen Globetrotters get in trouble. You don't see Globetrotters be like,
No.
oh, there was a domestic episode between, Curly O'Neill. But the NBA players, you see arrests and problems all the time. I don't feel like the Globetrotters are an issue.
Well, I mean,
They got themselves a solid group of fine
They're not.
gentlemen.
They're not playing basketball. They're playing goofy basketball. So I wouldn't
Same
think
rules
they're-
apply. You've got guys touring the United States as
Yeah.
famous basketball players. You're going to get into some shenanigans.
Maybe the Globetrotters are just more discreet.
Oh.
Like
In their USA colors?
they're pretty good at sleight of hand and shit like that.
That or they're not making the money to afford the big chains.
Yeah, nobody.
That's what it is.
They can't ball out.
Making the money. I saw some rapper got killed
Polo-
or something. Polo,
Polo
G.
G.
And they're showing pictures of his $6 million mansion, and I'm like, man, that's a nice house. And
It's
I'm like,
beautiful.
who the fuck is Polo G that he's got a $6 million house?
And I'm same way. I was doing the same exact thing that you're talking about. I'm looking at the house. I'm like, it's got a tennis court. It's got all these things.
Nice house.
And I'm going, I knew who Polo G was. Barely, right? But me knowing who somebody is barely doesn't equate to them having $6 million for a house. Like, if they've got a $6 million house, I feel like I should know them more than that.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
know,
that's,
Well, like I look up, people's net worth all the time,
Same.
and I'll see, somebody pretty famous that makes, they say it's worth $2 million, and then Polo G's got, $6 million house.
Weird.
Weird.
Where is the money coming from? Touring? Is Polo G touring and making money? Is he making money off of his records?
So I could tell you that touring is big in that world. And the reason is I've dealt with so many goddamn hip hop artists. It's insanity, right? It's usually cash, and it's usually, I don't want to say usually, that's not fair. There's a lot of laundering going on amongst hip hop promoters and the way they filter the money through to artists.
Yeah,
I
of course.
don't even know how it all works. All I know is I was watching stuff and I'm going, this is really odd what's happened. You're paying a guy $35,000 cash to perform 20 minutes. You're losing your ass, but you're getting ticket sales on the back end. It's almost like, and this is a venue I was up in. I can't remember the city it was, but it was a weird scene. And some of these hip hop artists, I've seen guns pulled out. I've seen a lot of weird stuff at some of these hip hop shows. But these promoters, bottom line is that's where you're making your money, is these touring. Because record sales, you're not really getting that. But if you can make 30 grand a night, okay, and just bounce from city to city, 30 grand a night, 30 grand, boom, 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 boom.
Still 6.5 million house.
I think we're also assuming he can afford the $6 million house.
Yeah, you also got to think you don't have to make nearly that much to buy that house.
Right.
Yeah.
We're assuming he doesn't have a mortgage or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know how people do
Polo
it.
G. So because I don't, I'm not heavy into the hip hop scene, but I look at TMZ and stuff because for the show and everything. So I know, they just do all these stories, but I'm like Polo G. I've never even heard of this guy, and he looks like the world this morning. Polo G.
I
$6
don't know
million
who he
mansion.
is. I've never even heard of him.
He just got arrested, and it was part of a protocol. That was all it was.
got
It was just, they
arrested.
raided his house, and he got arrested along with some other people for some sort of like burglary suspicion or something like that. I don't know.
How do you even get it associated with burglary when you have a $6 million house? Like,
because he had some other guys that were there that were suspected of perhaps some
Yeah.
other nefarious activity. You know who the coolest guy is that lives up here, who's a rapper that you may or may not have heard of,
Who?
is just awesome? You really don't know who lives up here?
Plies.
Plies lives up here.
You're goddamn right.
got it
Oh
right.
man, I almost used to come into the place I used to work. I don't know why I didn't just guess Plies.
He's amazing.
Immediately.
He's the best. I love that guy.
What his rapper? You like him as a person?
As a person, he was great. I met him several times. He was the coolest guy, and I'm going. He lives right here. Like, it's just always nice to have somebody cool like that. But then you'd see him driving around. He had like these camo wrapped like Lambos or whatever car it was, and you just see him pull up to International. And I saw him there one day, and all these kids are like going, Plies is at the mall. And it spread like wildfire. And all these people just started showing up at International Plaza out of nowhere. And I'm going, man, that's some serious power, right?
Plies.
Just to be
Plies.
Plies.
Yeah,
Plies.
I love Plies.
I
Do
think
you have
went
any?
to.
Do you have any other songs other than Becky?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah, a lot of
bricks on me, bricks on me.
No.
I like rob myself. I'm so rich. I'm gonna rob myself.
Where's he live?
I think in New Tampa.
Is that
Wesley Chapel.
Wesley Chapel.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen Plies.
He used to always come into the restaurant I worked at.
His Twitter is the best. If you don't follow him on Twitter, you have to, or X, whatever it's called now.
I mean, I still call it Twitter.
Yeah, me
it's like,
too.
Who's going to call it X?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Nobody. But he's hilarious. If God, I'd love to have him in here. That'd be so much fun.
Plies.
He probably like, where y'all want me to go? Come on, where?
Or he might just do it.
He might.
That's how Plies is.
That would be
Plies
awesome.
rolls.
That darn Plies.
Where did you see him? You saw him in a restaurant?
He used to come into the Beef O'Brady's when I was younger, when I worked there in Wesley, up by New Tampa,
Oh,
kind
you
of.
worked at Beef O'Brady's?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he used to come in there and eat. And everybody come peek out. Plies is here.
I'm just here to give him some wings, man.
Do you think anybody's gonna? Is everybody getting ready for the debate?
I am.
Are you gonna watch it? Are
Yes.
you gonna watch
Yeah,
it?
when is it? I didn't
Tonight.
even.
Is it 9:00? Is it that late? How do the old folks stay up to see the debate? I don't
That's a
even
good question.
know.
Like Joe Biden is going to be in a debate.
No, this is the Republican.
Oh no, I haven't been paying attention. You got me excited.
It's no Trump. There's no Trump.
Ramaswamy,
it's
though.
9 to 11. 9 to 11. tonight.
Ramaswamy. I'm a big Vivek guy.
That guy's a con man.
You think?
He's a big farm guy. He made all his money in big farm.
Yes.
He's a con man. He's really good at lying. And see, all these schleps lying like Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell. They don't, we know you're lying. Vivek he's a good liar. He's smooth.
But wait a second. How is he worse or
He's the same.
Or
No,
better.
he's the same as all. Yeah.
right? So, and he's not a career politician, which you have to kind of give some, almost like you got to give like extra credit to, right? Because he hasn't been soaking off the system, at least from a taxpayer perspective, forever. But he's got interesting perspectives. He's saying what's on his mind.
I mean, he says a lot of good stuff. I just
And he
don't
plays
think he's-
tennis, so I'm a fan
I
of
don't
that.
I don't think he's real. It's like tonight. There's no Trump in the debate, so it's going to be so it's just DeSantis. And to me, I don't even understand it. It's like, why are they? It's like they're trying to. It's like the DeSantis people. There's so much animosity. They will never vote for Trump, and the Trump people hate the DeSantis people.
How do
so
they even
bad.
do that? How do they figure out how to
So
do this?
they've divided us, not only Republican Democrats. Now they've completely divided the Republican Party. They've made it so.
It's like they're taking a pizza and slicing it, and then slicing it again.
They were like, well,
taking half of it away and then slicing it again and again.
It's like it worked once, maybe it'll work twice, and it does work. You get that. Oh, these people rabidly hate Trump in the Republican Party and rabidly hate DeSantis, who's just
What
an
did
average
DeSantis
dude.
do wrong?
He hangs with the wrong people. They say he's just another politician. He's he associates with certain Republicans that are left leaning. I was like, the only hope is to vote for Trump because it gets some laughs.
Nah, I don't know.
Get some laughs.
You were saying the other day, you were talking about Trump, and you're like, you think he's all in on everything and whatever.
Yeah, he's in
but
on
you
it.
don't quite get how he's doing it. I think he's pushing the fake news. You know how everything's fake, and now everybody's like, oh, you can't believe anything you said. That was one of his big
He started
lines.
the fake news.
Fake news. And now everything's so fake online, and everything's so fake, in politics and everything. It helped to just nobody knows what's fake and what's real now, and it's just isn't it insane?
It is insane
Just like
that there's no truth. I've seen articles written by people going, there's no truth. Where are you going to find the
fake
truth?
news.
You could find, no matter, we could find the biggest expert in the world and say, here he is. I've got a video of this guy telling us, this biggest expert in the world. And the other side would come out with another expert and say, this guy is a complete pathological liar. And everything he said has always been debunked. And you're like, how? And you can find 50 articles to support this guy and 50 articles to support that guy. And that's how it is now. And I don't know. I can't find nothing true.
It is hard to decipher, and I can tell you personally from being somebody who has not benefited from the truth being told, right? Like
Yeah.
there's a lot more,
Yeah.
a lot of, you and I kind of talked about it a little bit. There's a lot of layers on stuff, right? And boy, the narrative, to overcome somebody's narrative or somebody's way of thinking,
It's impossible.
if they've already dug in on something,
Yeah, it's impossible.
it's an insurmountable effort to try to sway that person and even let them try to see the light of another way. It's very difficult.
It's impossible.
To where you just throw your hands up and go, all right, what am I going to do?
So you've experienced that.
Yes.
But I experienced it, and it totally blew me away. It blew my mind. So I'm here, I'm like, okay, well, I've been a good guy, a stand-up guy for 20 years, the most loyal motherfucker on the planet. And now people will see that I'm leaving for a just cause, and they will support me. And they're all like, we hate you. And I was like, you loved me for 20 years, and all of a sudden you hate me? And I never did nothing. And the track record on the other side is a list of 1,000 things that you would dislike a person for. I didn't have anything, but they still hated me. And I was like, oh, I get it. People are insane.
People are insane or dug in. I mean, even like in sports teams, you know, if you're rooting for a sports team and that guy catches the ball and obviously lands out of bounds, but you're rooting for him, you're like, no, he didn't step out of bounds. You know,
Yeah,
there's
it's
those
true.
people, no, he wasn't out of bounds, he was in.
Yeah.
Even though you could
Even
show
like-
him a picture
Yeah.
of the guy out of bounds. And nope.
You can take all these microcosms, all these little scenarios, your scenario, my scenario, your sports analogy, all those little things, and then blow it up to the biggest thing, which would be the leader of our country. Yeah, how can you decipher what's going on, and how can you change somebody's mind? Well, not even change somebody's mind, just have somebody see another side of it. And
Nope, can't do it.
everything's gray. There's no, I just look at the world as gray. It's not black and white. There's gray. And if you're seeing things in complete black and white, you probably got a little bit of a problem.
Well, only,
your vision.
I would say 15% of the population views the world as gray as we do. And everyone else is black or white,
Yeah, there's no in between.
red or
You're telling me?
blue. Yeah, they're dug in. They're dug.
I wish I was dug in a little bit more. Like, I can believe in something for like 5 years, and then like a 20-minute conversation with somebody, I'm like, I think I've been wrong for 5 years.
You're the voter that they can sway for $1.77 per vote. They were saying the super PACs. I think it was the super PACs. They're not allowed to actually have interaction with the candidate.
Oh no.
God
They're not.
forbid.
Yeah, of course
So
not.
what they do is they send out these memos and they leak them online or social media. So you'll have these super PACs, and if DeSantis, like tonight's going to be a big proving ground because
Yeah.
they want him to act in a certain way, but they can't tell him that. So they release these memos and they go, if only DeSantis would blast Biden's policy on this 3 times and call Vivek this 1 time, and they give a roadmap of how exactly they want him to act. And yes, he can't interact with them personally, but he's taking that note and he's seeing it and he's going, if I'm going to get the super PAC money, here's, I guess, here's the roadmap. Here's what they want me to do. And it's going to be interesting to see if they follow that template of what these super PACs want from them.
It is interesting, but a lot of times you can say, you can make promises during the debates, and then you completely ignore them.
Man,
They've all got track records of saying what they're going to do, and they don't do it. So
never.
I always take it back to my student council election
I always bring that
Yeah,
up as the
4th grade.
same. It's the same exact thing that was going
I
on.
ran for vice president on a platform of more vending machines and more candy in them and more lunchtime, stuff that I knew I had no power to control.
Right?
But I won. And then I got in office and I didn't do a goddamn thing. I was in 5th grade. I'm like, yeah, hey, man.
Because you don't
right
really
on.
control anything.
And nor did I give a shit. I just wanted to win the election.
I'm surprised.
That was it.
I'm surprised they let you win.
I mean,
It was a rigged election.
I don't think
Was it?
No.
I was gonna say because I guarantee most school president elections are everything's rigged.
You're
mean-
telling me I couldn't win the 4th grade student
I'm-
council
no, you-
election?
I mean, you may
You're
have-
like, how did you win? It's 4th grade.
I mean, you might have won, but a lot of the teachers are like, "Oh, Johnny, no, Matt Lloyd, he's not winning for sure."
Do you know for the longest time I wanted to be mayor of Oldsmar? I don't know why. I just wanted to be mayor of Oldsmar.
so you could give up as soon as you got enough.
I just wanted to be mayor of Oldsmar to the point where I was like, we got to move to Oldsmar. I got to live there for a year before I can actually,
I think you could be mayor of Oldsmar.
that's what I was thinking.
It's a cake gig too. It's cake. They ain't nothing going on in Oldsmar.
And I don't even think they're a strong mayor, and you don't get paid much. You get like $800 a month or something. But I just wanted to roll around and be mayor of Oldsmar.
Mayor, I think you get better parking and stuff.
Yeah, but you can strong arm businesses. They give me free crab.
You're an honorary.
Free crab, it's worth it. Crab's expensive nowadays.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be mayor. So now I can divulge my plans of free crab.
Mayor Matt Lloyd of Oldsmar.
But vending
Well, I didn't want to
machine.
choose a metropolis that was too big. You got to go with a nice in between.
Yep. Dunedin, Oldsmar.
Vending machines are the most promised thing in any school's history, and they've never got one. Like every school class president that's ever run is like, and I'll get more vending machines. Of course, like
Never got it.
Every year they're like, we're getting vending machines.
If DeSantis ran on the platform of, hey, when I was in student government, I actually got a vending machine, I'd be like, oh my God, this guy's a real go-getter.
vote for him.
He's getting stuff done.
Yeah, it's like so the powers that be don't care what the kids are promising, whatever they know is not gonna happen at all, but because they ultimately control it. So it's exactly the same with our society. These guys, they go ahead, Republicans and Democrats fight away because whoever wins, we're gonna tell you what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
Kind of. So I won't be watching the debate.
Well, I am. I'm pretty excited about this whole Wagner Group news with Prigozhin going down in a jet. Did you? I mean, I assume you saw this.
Yeah. But allegedly, they got video of it being shot down by Vlad.
We can all know what happened here, and there's still speculation of them going, well, we don't really know. It's like Putin. This was Putin's like sworn enemy. Like, you know how this goes. You know how this is going to play out. It's not good.
Yeah, and it's usually, I mean, if this happened in the United States, we'd be going, oh my God. And they'd have these videos. No, it was, mechanical failure. And some people would be going, I saw a missile hit that plane. They'd be going, these people are crackpots.
Yes, and that's where the conspiracy cover-ups start. Putin, you can look at this and kind of more or less ascertain Putin probably 95% had something to do with it.
Yeah.
And in the U.S., you can probably look at something like that and realize that some shadow entity of the government had probably a 95% chance to do with it, but we'll never be able to, I guess, come to terms with that.
No.
Of all these shadow organizations that our government has and all these different crazy situations.
It's the same as every other country. We just dress it up differently. Like we're not really that way. We're the only country that isn't that way.
Yeah, we're civilized.
Yes, we're the only country in the history of the world that hasn't been completely corrupted. Not even believable.
We're just pretty good at hiding that we're assholes.
Do you feel like we landed on the moon? I'm sure you guys have talked
don't
about
even,
it.
don't even
Are
get me
you a moon guy?
I used to be
He
95.
got fired up real quick.
I used to really, think we went to the moon. And then I was like, I don't think we went to the moon, but I'm not going to say it because I think everybody will act like I'm insane. And then I'm like watching some of the videos and stuff like that. I'm like, we didn't go to the moon like that.
Are you a flat Earth guy?
No. Not yet.
It's up in the
Not
You're
yet.
definitely 50-50
I went
on
from
that.
100% not being flat Earth, and now I'm in the middle.
I watched so much information on the flat Earth thing, kind of what you said earlier, where if you watch enough of it,
Yeah,
you slowly sort of adapt to
a
that.
little bit.
And there's a part of me I'm going, there is a sort of an argument to be made here. And then you go back to the center of somebody doing a basic experiment of the wide Earth is flat, and you go, oh yeah, it's not flat at all. It's totally round. Like you have to,
you go through those
you
stages.
like go back to center, and you go, this doesn't make any sense.
But the thing is, when they show the guys with a huge telescope and they're seeing something on over water that should be below the curve, and you're like, well, how do you explain that? Like, I don't get that. And then also, then you go back to seeing something and you're like, oh yeah, well, it's round. What am I doing?
Yeah. It's a strange one. The flat Earth thing. Antarctica I do find fascinating.
I mean,
it's an there's just interesting.
Why can't we just go there?
Let's just hang out in Antarctica. Well, what are we hiding?
I mean, and if you were gonna whatever it's secret, it's a government secret deal in Antarctica or alien secret deal. I mean, what place would you have your secret deal? The place where nobody can go because it's 20 below zero, 365 a year, and then the government doesn't have to worry to keep you out that hard. Because
there's a lot.
You can't hardly get there.
I've seen a lot of the first explorers that went there were like, it kind of was nice there. It's not this frozen tundra place they're talking about.
We made it a frozen tundra.
They've got more towards the center, and it opened up into a nice,
But you can't even have that conversation with most people because they immediately dismiss it
or think you're insane.
And chances are we're probably insane.
We're probably
Isn't
wrong,
there at least an interesting conversation that can be had around it?
That much of a chance. Right?
I mean, right now they're kind of acting like we can't get back to the moon, which makes me think that we might really not have ever been there because they're doing experiments to make sure we can make it through this part. And they're not even saying, we already did it, so we should know. But
I mean, we're having a hell of a time getting back to a place we got to in 1960s technology.
Our computer was the size of this room
70 years ago, and now we're like, well, we're going to try in 2 more years. We're going to try. Can't promise anything. We're going to send some drones up there. We're going to make a trip. We're going to check the radiation to make sure people can survive in that radiation. Well, weren't you there before?
So if this country's going to lie that we flew 400,000 miles away and landed on the moon, you think they might not lie that there's a nice grassy plain down in Antarctica? I mean, it's not a far stretch.
Or that there was a second shooter on the grassy knoll, or any of these things.
It's all true. Everything's true. Everything's a lie.
And the conspiracy about it is all true.
And it's all true.
The conspiracy means truth almost.
And that's what you would do.
Or we're lunatics.
It's one of the two. It's one of the two. I don't know which one. But I at least like to have a conversation about it.
Oh, it's so much fun. I mean, if you gave me proof right now that we landed on the moon, I'd go, yeah, okay, I was wrong.
You ever get in a fight with somebody? Not a real physical altercation.
No, it is.
You're having a conversation, and then it escalates, and then either you or that person has to go, whoa. I don't really care that much.
Yeah,
I don't have a dog in this fight.
Yeah, we're just chatting it up here. Let's not get too crazy about it.
Yeah, it does. It finally clicks in one of your heads like, oh, this doesn't really matter.
Yeah, we can't do anything about it. To think that
why are we doing
force change is crazy.
Force change with anger.
I don't know. What's going on your end? What are you looking at?
I'm fixing to take a break here. Because I need a beverage and to get another beverage, and then we'll be right back with more of this stuff. Oh, wait, I did want to show this, Trace. The Chinese just landed. Hey, I'm not. What?
I don't know.
What are you laughing at?
I don't even know what it is yet, but I know it's going to be ridiculous.
This is on Mars. They landed unmanned probe.
Sure, it is.
Yeah, let's see. This sounds preposterous.
This is the actual Chinese video. Watch it.
What's that up?
Soft land. Watch this soft land.
Yeah, that's not CGI.
Is that better than ours? Is that better than ours or worse than ours? I think ours was a little better.
Ours is a little better.
Ours is, I don't know, because that one's really got the nice secondary camera angle from God knows where that camera would be positioned
we got
at.
those cameras too.
We do. Yeah, I know. The whole thing, it's farcical.
I mean, look at the flames and everything.
Look at the flame. Yeah, the flames that don't have no
That's-
dirt on the ground.
Oh, very suspicious here.
It's high gravity there. Holds all the dirt down.
Fake news.
Well, I mean, do you think the Chinese would be a little better at it? No.
No.
I guess you look
I've
at
seen their fake moon landing, and it's pretty ridiculous. Like it looks like wires and stuff.
What if theirs was the only real one?
All right. All right, we'll take a break. I'm going to go get a beverage. We'll be right back with more of the Mike and Pat show. Mike and Pat. That's from 1990.
Oh, my God.
That's 1995.
He's lost it.
Mike and Pat show. Mike and Pat show. I almost turned off the stream. Gotta do something here. Do something. I'm panicking, Matt.
Well,
Freak out, man.
We'll be right back.
you should leave.
Let's just
Just
leave.
get up and
Just
leave.
Hey, we'll be back. Deal with it. It's a stream. It ain't radio. What, I got to play something to entertain you, assholes? Deal with it.
Mattel Incorporated, this is Janet.
Yes, I was calling about this new Helen Keller doll I just bought for my granddaughter.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't get it. I mean, I buy my granddaughter Barbie dolls because Barbie is an iconic American symbol dedicated to impossible beauty standards. An iconic symbol that inspires girls all over the world to grow up to be strippers, cam girls, porn stars.
Sir.
I mean, what the hell does Helen Keller have to do with teaching girls how to use their bodies to make an easy living? Do you want my granddaughter working at Wawa for $10 an hour?
I'm not really sure what you're calling about.
I'm calling about your plain Jane Helen Keller doll that's inspiring my daughter to live in the fucking poorhouse.
Helen Keller was supposed to be an inspiration.
Oh, no,
What exactly do you have a problem with that?
Bullshit. If Helen Keller was an inspiration, you'd have little girls gouging out their eyeballs from here to Saskatchewan.
Oh, my gosh.
What fun can my granddaughter have playing with a deaf, dumb, and blind Barbie? I mean,
Sir.
I'm looking at this doll I paid $59.99 for, and she's 5 foot tall at best. I can't really tell about her boobs with this ruffly shirt she's got on, but it looks like
Are
it looks
Are
like
you serious?
damn right I'm serious. She looks like she's got an A cup.
A what?
An A cup. Her chest. Barbie with an A cup. What's the world coming to?
These are historic figures that it will inspire a new generation.
Oh, well, la-di-da. Thanks for destroying my granddaughter's dreams of working at Hooters. Look, my granddaughter already made me buy the whole set. Now I gotta watch her have an imaginary Barbie tea party where Maya Angelou reads haikus and Eleanor Roosevelt Barbie farts dust and Helen Keller keeps banging into the wall looking for the goddamn bathroom.
Oh. Mattel Incorporated, this is Janet.
Yeah, we seem to have been disconnected now. I see you got a Sally Ride doll trying to teach girls to be astronauts.
Sir,
Look, listen to me. That's all well and good, but if Christy McCullough had been shaking her ass in the VIP lounge, giving full friction lap dances, she'd be alive today.
Oh, my God.
She could have thrown that calculator out the fucking window and twerked that fine ass on OnlyFans all day long for big bucks.
Mattel Incorporated, this is Janet.
Yes, we seem to have been disconnected. Now, look, I don't want my daughter to have to grow up and be like you, Missy.
Excuse me?
Just working and slaving your life away.
Sir, what is your name?
Look, my name's Ned.
Ned?
Yes, Ned, get the fucking Barbie boots out of your ears. Are you going to register my complaint or what?
I will definitely register your complaint. I don't really
Well,
have...
good, you better, because this is serious business.
Ned, please,
My granddaughter's been playing with your fucking Florence Nightingale doll all day.
just stop.
Now, instead of being a cam girl working 3 days a week and driving a Mercedes, she's going to be washing the old man's balls.
Mattel Incorporated, this is Janet.
Look, let me just say that I have your Rosa Parks doll. And if you'd have given her a couple of big, bodacious double D's,
Ned.
she would have been sitting on the bus driver's lap.
Oh, my God.
Hello? Hello?
Mattel Incorporated, this is Janet.
Listen, darling, I can see Mattel ain't gonna do shit.
Ned.
So I'm taking my Sally Ride doll, and I'm gonna strap it to a bottle rocket to show my granddaughter what happens to girls who get too smart for their own good.
Ned.
Kablooey! Hello? Hello? All right, thanks. It's good. Be safe. See you tomorrow. Welcome back to the Mike and Matt Show. Still think we need a new name.
Well, I mean,
It's hard to come up with a good name.
I'm sure people have some suggestions.
I'll throw it out there to the listeners. I mean, I was encouraged to use. We had that you're a POS, you're a turd, and you're a douche. But that was like 5 people out of well over 100. See,
Then go with
that's
that.
a great ratio, man.
Then go with that.
Go with that. That you're a turd.
Yeah. I like that.
That's the name of our show, the POS show.
Mike and the Turd.
Mike and the turd. See, you need a gimmick. I know you don't want to be. You see,
Mike and the DVD Boy.
You're gonna be regretting being the turd, though.
I don't really give it.
No, you would. See, years on the hey, turd, and you'd be like, man, everywhere I go, people call me a fucking turd.
Everywhere I go, I can't escape it. The paparazzi.
You think I'd be better off today if I was Chicken Bone Robinson?
No, I don't even know where that name came from. It's terrible. They're all the radio names out there are equally as bad.
Oh, yeah, terrible. They were all terrible names.
All terrible.
I mean, degrading and terrible. Like you got Chaz. He was named after a transsexual. You had
Okay.
25 Cent was the short version of 50 Cent.
Yep. It was what was it?
There's got to be more.
Dick Lips or something like that.
Oh, there were penis lips.
Penis
lips.
Sorry, I didn't mean to color.
Please.
Dick Lips.
Yeah, it was all.
I mean, we ran through 120, 150 interns.
God, I mean, we used to try to name them, and then it gets too. That's too long a list.
Yes, it was.
I mean, that's why, it's like talking earlier. Like, well, so you don't believe me or anything I say. You believe the guy who ran through 100 employees because he's insufferable to work with. He just made my point.
And all of them are wrong.
And they're all wrong.
All wrong.
Yeah, it was all just bad employees.
Yes.
Every single one of them.
Everybody else
A
is the
piece
problem.
of shit. Everyone's a piece of shit.
Well, I don't know, man.
I'm kind of upset. We were in here. I had planned first War of the Roses, then we're gonna do Florida Man, then Douchebag of the Day, and like we didn't get to none of my set bits. It's like they're still doing that War of the Roses shit, which is fake people. Fake people but they do it like every day at 7:00. They're gonna have 2 fake people arguing about getting divorced and creating a scenario, and they're lying and they're not even good actors.
Do they literally still do that?
Yeah,
somewhere?
oh yeah,
Around here?
The Joe Show.
Oh, really?
Joe, and they promote that as their big thing. Oh, coming up tomorrow morning, 7:10, War of the Roses. It's like,
Oh, I didn't know that was still
look, I mean, you got reality TV. People are watching no-name bad actors, yell at each other.
Which
So why wouldn't they want to hear it on the radio?
hold on, I think I figured out who you look like. I was trying to figure it out, and this
do
is
I look
not.
like?
Hold on, let me make sure I'm not.
Insane.
Never mind, I'm a little off.
Okay.
I'm a little off. I've been seeing all these promos for the Golden Bachelor.
Is that a new show? They took the Bachelor and went. Is it an older Bachelor?
Yes.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
I was like, you kind of look like the but then I pulled up a picture and I'm going, you don't. I mean, you kind of look like the Golden Bachelor. Like, could you see it a little bit?
He's a more classical, handsome man than I am.
He's very Viagra commercial-esque kind of guy.
He's a Mitt Romney almost ish guy.
Yeah, you've got more of a colonial face.
I've got unusually handsome and awkwardly handsome.
Striking features. Yeah, Golden Bachelor.
Golden Bachelor.
That's right.
Oh, hot damn!
Hot damn old man dating old women, and we're gonna see how steamy it gets.
Why didn't they just set up a camera at Caliente? It could have saved a lot of money.
Oh man, there's all those nudie places around here.
We're like a nudie capital, of the world. If you want to swing or just be nude, we got certain establishments where they keep the swinging low key, and then you got Caliente where it's all free. Excuse me, free for all.
I didn't know pineapple was apparently a symbol of swingers.
They come. This is the loofahs.
What's a loofah? I didn't know that.
Or is it the loofah? No, the scrunchies. What is it?
Scrunchies?
Babe, what's it called? A scrunchie? Loofahs. Loofahs. Different colored loofahs. It tells you what kind of swinger you're. Soft swinger, hard swinger.
Where does the loofah go?
On your golf cart, because they all got golf carts riding around
Are
their
you
communities.
kidding me?
Yeah.
All these symbols, all these things. How do you even keep track of that?
Why don't you just have a sign that says "I suck dick" on the front of your golf
Right?
cart? Let's cut to the chase.
Simplify things.
I have a loofah that says "I suck dick." I mean, why?
My wife.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to watch. I have a purple loofah, which means I like to watch you crank my wife.
Yeah, the pineapples, we were like, I guess if they have pineapples outside, it means they're swingers. And I'm going, I would have never equated that. And I also, at the same time, now question if I ever go to somebody's house and they have pineapples outside, I'm immediately going to have to go, I don't think I want to be here because I don't want to hang around with those people. I don't want anything to, that's not my
When actually
not my
they
world.
just liked pineapples.
That's
man.
the rub. Like, what if I just, what if it's just part of the decor?
Because I would imagine most people don't know anything about that.
I didn't.
I mean,
yeah. And I was in a perverted lifestyle for God knows how long.
God knows how long. I tried to save you, man.
I
Tried
know.
to save you.
But even I didn't realize all these things. And you're telling me about the loofah thing, which is a complete shock to my system.
That's what might have been pre-pineapple. Not we were talking about this only like a year or two ago. It's not like an old thing. The loofahs they were big recently.
Yeah, but you're talking about on a golf cart.
Pineapples are new, in my opinion. Could be the latest craze.
The new trend. But you're talking about on golf carts in nudie communities?
No, in like retirement, like the villages.
Okay, the villages,
Because
right.
everybody's got a golf cart, and there's the swingers will seek each other out.
Oh my God.
I guess how are you going to swing if you don't know some swingers? That's awkward, going up to people, going, "Hey," and they're like, "Oh, well, you're not my friend anymore."
Yeah.
Because you just asked me to screw my wife.
It is a weird thing as you get older and if like couples want to go to dinner and stuff like that. I almost feel like you have to question the motive of going, do you guys just want to go to dinner, or is this like going to become some weirdo like fetish thing that I don't want any
Can you
part of?
imagine how awkward that would be?
It would be a nightmare.
Because I imagine it wouldn't take but about 15 or 20 minutes before they started, So Matt,
Puts his hand on your leg.
just a very. It probably starts out subtly, and then then you're like, oh, they're swingers.
Yeah, and then it's like, check.
Yeah, check please.
Check, please.
I never got that. It's like, I can barely find somebody I can tolerate to go to dinner with. Their their company. It's for hard to find somebody you're compatible
Yes.
with, let alone have sex with. And then you wake up. We're talking about the most awkward breakfast ever.
So, hey.
Hey, my wife really seemed to enjoy what you did to her last night. Your wife, not so much. Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, please pass the pancakes.
So, You want to do this
No,
again?
no,
All right.
absolutely
I didn't
not.
think so.
I'm sure you want to do it again, but I'm gonna pass on that, buddy. Eat your bacon, get the fuck out.
That'd be the worst part is if you get passed on. You know?
Yeah, you were thinking things went great.
Yeah. I thought everything went really nice. No.
I'm not returning my text.
I don't even like. I think it's hard to find a couple to go to dinner with, much less anything else. Take everything else
Yeah,
out.
that's what I'm saying. It's
just
like,
to even have dinner, not like just to tolerate, like you said, to tolerate people through dinner. It's difficult. Like I have some friends and they'll have big dinner parties and they've got 6 couples and they're all out hanging out, and I'm going, that's not me. It's just not my. I don't know about you guys.
we got the same like 2 friends. Right now we're about down to 2 friends.
2 friends.
Yeah, we kind of, we can tend to be opinionated and kind of arrogant, and we do run some off. But it's hard to. It's just like being married. It's hard to have a relationship with somebody for 20-something years. The guys that we got 2 fairly close friends, but they're so easygoing. You can say anything to them.
How weird would it be if just one day he was like, "Hey,
Fuck you. You're taking your shit.
I feel like I've known you for a really long time, and I think we can, as a couples thing. Here's my loofah color. Would you cut him off immediately, or would you have a conversation? Say, look, this is not my thing, because I feel like once they show those cards, there's no going back.
See, then every time I looked at him, I'd be going, "Yeah, you're just one of those people." I'm not, I'm not like a prude or anything. I don't think anybody stays married when you're swinging. I don't think any of the swingers have been married for 60 years and banging other people. And that just doesn't even happen. It's not a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, I can't imagine it be a healthy lifestyle. One that I want no part of. That's for damn sure. And one that I see other people who have been a part of, and I go, "Ooh, that didn't work out well."
I've seen, we used to have couples on the radio. They call us, "Oh, here's the swingers from Mississippi. What, you got divorced?" That's how it usually works out.
Well, then you'd always have that one couple who would call in and be like, "Well, we've been doing it for 25 years and we're going strong as ever." And meanwhile, no, you're not. You think you're going stronger. You think. You have this illusion in your head that you're going stronger than ever. But you're not. There's no relationship that's really, truly...
There's no way.
I find it impossible.
I don't know. I mean, I couldn't deal with that. Having my wife have sex with someone, in the same room, or
Well, that's why you got your office. You'll be in your office.
Maybe some people. I guess if you're into it, you don't care. It doesn't bother you. It's like, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I would find it hard not to be bothered.
I'm a little more jealous than that.
Yeah,
I'd be real bothered. And it's like you said, I'm sure everyone's putting on a show. So did your wife put on a better show than she did for you?
Putting on a show.
Nobody wants to swing with 2 couples just making no noise. I mean, you imagine a show. It's a show. The women are going over the top.
Or you go even deeper than that. Then you got an orgy, which is a swinger thing on steroids, where it's just now you've got 8, 10, 12 people, which is a lot to keep track of. That's a lot of bodies.
A lot of meat.
That's a lot of bodies.
Various meat,
a lot of sweat glands, a lot of pores.
Stuff. There's a lot of stuff.
A lot
hanging
of fluids.
Flying.
Everything.
Yeah. I'm not, I just don't understand it.
It's reaffirmed my original stance.
It's like, I don't Donna has a flower shop, and there's a lot of nudist colonies around here, and we deliver to nudist colonies. And you just go there, and you're like, why does someone have to be nude all the time? What freedom? I don't feel impaired because I got a t-shirt and shorts on. I think I'm more comfortable. And if I was sitting here naked, I'd feel like, naked.
And they're never really naked. There's always towels around. They always have giant stacks of white towels to lay down
so
everywhere.
You don't put your nastiness on the seat.
Right. So, but you're right. Yeah. Like I'm not encumbered by
your t-shirt,
shorts. Like it's okay.
And it's it is enjoyable to go to the nudist colony, and generally you're going to see a guy with a pot belly. Just slinging his dealer. I mean, he's walking and his thing's slinging like nobody's. It's not a normal guy walking. It's just going. Wah, wah. And I watch. It's a show. It's a show.
I mean, you can't not look.
I don't look.
You have to look. I stayed the night out there at Caliente one time. I don't know. I got it probably 18 years ago or something like that. But it was a nice room. Like they have like hotels. It's like a hotel and a nightclub. And we went to the hotel and stayed the night and did the nightclub and all that stuff.
Is it? I've never been there. Is it nice? Like I've never been to the club. I've delivered flowers to plenty of people there. Is the club nice?
The club was fine. I
Is
don't know
it
what
like
it
an
looks
old
like
people's
now.
kind of club, or
I didn't know what to expect. There was a few nude people, but the majority had like dresses on but then
flimsy dress?
flimsy dresses. Yes. And I was like, all right, I'll pull my balls out. Well, that was child's play. Like nobody even noticed that, you know.
I figured they'd arrest the guy with, there's a weirdo here. He's just got his balls out.
No, you could have your balls out there and it was nothing. Nobody even made a big deal of it.
Put your balls out.
Just balls out. I had jeans on and just balls out and didn't make a lick of difference. Nobody cared.
Was it freeing? Did you feel free, Matt?
Oh, it was so
You can never go back to wearing
so
underwear again.
nice. It was a nice place though, as far as the rooms go.
Caliente.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, they got nice houses there. Like, I mean, it's got houses like 200, 300. Well, I'm talking old school. I'm sorry, $400,000, $500,000 houses.
It's got to be a tough market though.
They were
That's a
200
tough sell.
Well,
With interest rates the way they are and finding very particular buyers for your place, you really have to drill down and get very granular with your potential buyer of a place in a nudist colony.
or do they got a waiting list? Weirdos all over the world wanting to go to Caliente.
I mean, if there was some open houses, I'd probably be tempted to go through, get a cheap look. Get a cheap look. You don't have
Nude,
to,
just to walk through somebody's house nude and sit on stuff. I like this couch. I like this couch. Let's go. Let's go this weekend. We're going to go to some open houses at Caliente.
We're going to need you to take off all your clothes before you walk through our open house. If you're a really interested buyer, if you're a serious buyer,
All right.
you'll prove it right now. Put my balls out.
Okay, you're serious. He pulled his balls out, huh? He's legit.
When we were looking at houses, we had to go in some of these open houses, and they make you put the booties on, and they meet you at the front door, and they go,
Oh,
if you could
booties.
take off your shoes. Now I got to worry about, did I put on different colored socks today? Does one of my socks have a hole in it? Like, what's going on with my socks? Okay. Then the worst part is then they go, well, then you just put on these booties. And then you have to walk around slushing and sliding around these
With your blue booties
yeah,
on.
blue booties on, like I'm about to perform surgery somewhere.
It's ridiculous.
It's so dumb.
I
So
think we had some plumbers who were doing the blue booty thing, and that was their gimmick. And like it was like a year later, the guy came back. They weren't doing the blue booty thing, and the plumbers were like, "Fuck these blue booties, man! We look like idiots."
every time they got to go to an appointment, then go in and out of the house. Every time they're going in and
Got a
out
new blue
to the
booty.
truck.
Oh.
Ew. Yeah, shoes are dirty. What are you going to do about it? All right, what do we got?
What we got? Well, we done. Okay, we.
Oh, you got a checklist.
Always got to see. I've been pretty much freestyling.
Here's what okay. We talked about the debate.
Yep.
The only other thing I have is like revenge, because I think you're bringing that back out of me, which is not good.
I try not to do. I try to just let it slide now. It's like ain't worth it. I'm just living my life. What good is all that animosity do you, other than make you think about bad things?
You're right, but then you brought it. I was
brought it back,
positive
I brought it
last week. I was so positive last week.
Did I bring it back?
Yes, and then I started thinking about certain things people have said or done, and I'm like all hell bent again. And I don't want to get in that place, but man, it's hard. I won't bring that up.
I'd like to, I'd like to feel that way, but it's just not. It just ain't gonna change nothing.
Yeah,
Just deal with your life, and I every time I start thinking like how I get a little bitter about how turned out for me, I got screwed pretty much. I think of what I was able to do. You were like when we were on, you were on Sirius with us. We were on Sirius, and we were doing Bubba Paloozas and going up to New York to the Howard Stern Film Festival. I mean, we were radio gods. I mean, there were very few people ever did what we did in radio.
Yeah, but here's where you have to look at the bright side of that. Is not only take all that stuff away. The fact that you had a career in that industry for as long as you've had it is crazy. The average person does not go that way. They're in it they're doing middays for 2 years.
It's true.
And then they're, a victim of budget cuts or a new PD comes in, whatever it is, and they're gone.
I worked in the same city
That's
my entire career, which it don't happen.
it's pretty
it rarely
crazy.
happens.
And you made a good living, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean,
You got a hell of a spread.
as the Cox attorney told me, she said, you had the golden handcuffs, didn't you? I went, yeah, I did.
That's what the attorney said. That's so funny. That is so funny. Yeah, I don't know. We could bitch about stuff, but
Yeah, I mean, I could bitch about stuff all night. I saw this. Woman learns she's half a credit shy of graduating high school 16 years after receiving her diploma. And it's like, what the fuck are you worried about? Nobody I've never had anyone ask for my high school diploma, let alone my transcripts from high school to see that I graduated. It's the biggest scam going. Nobody will ever ask for your high school diploma.
Which is always the biggest fear when you're growing up and going through school. The biggest
I gotta have a high
fear
diploma.
is not only having the diploma, but yeah, going to an interview and they go, well, can you bring in your high school diploma? And you go, shit. Damn it. I don't know
Actually
if I can.
ask you that?
No, they never did, but they
Okay.
asked me, they're always the biggest fear of doing it.
You just think you need it, but you really, all they do would be ask you have a high school diploma? Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Then nobody ever said, well, let me get mail to the university and get a copy of transcripts. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah, I mean, the college thing, if you need a master's or something on
Yeah,
those lines.
I'm just talking about the average guy. You don't need a diploma.
No.
I mean,
So wait. I'm trying to
I've got a
understand-
GED. Nobody even ever asked me.
You have a GED?
Yeah, I did.
I have a GED.
Yeah. It's like,
Oh,
no.
how come you never stuck up for me when I was getting ripped on about my GED?
I'm sorry if I didn't. I don't know.
You
why
never one time mentioned, hey, by the way, I've got a GED. You never one time mentioned that. This is news to me. Man, all those years I was getting blasted for being a high school dropout. And
I
getting
was just
my
like you,
GED.
man.
And
I
meanwhile,
got my GED. I hate that high school bullshit.
I'm looking at it years later, and yeah, I don't have a master's or any of that stuff, but I'm not trying to be an accountant, an architect, a doctor, or a lawyer, right? So I don't really give a shit. But I'm also glad that I was a little bit ahead of the curve on all these student loans, because guess what? I don't have any.
Right.
There's something to be said for that. If you go right out of high school into the workforce, and you're just a hungry go-getter or whatever, you can get ahead of the game instead of these people that have buried in $200,000 in student loans.
I would think if you're a go-getter now, you could just do anything you want because the competition is so weak now. People are weak. They're not strong.
Nobody wants to go get.
They're not going to go get. They're thinking how many days can I work remotely and how many days do I get off? And there's some mental health days. I need some mental health days. And you just walk in like a normal person, go, I'll work my ass off for you, and they'll be like, sure, and then promote you up. I think.
You'd think.
I don't know. Maybe you get replaced by a robot. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. These Amazon, I was watching the news story today. They were talking about the Amazon employees are just going, yeah, we're going to go ahead and quit. Like, we're just not going to come back into the office. I know you're saying that we're supposed to, but we're just not going to do that.
A lot of employers are doing that,
We're going to quit. And they're quitting, and I'm of the mindset, what are you going to do for a job? Like, I'm always, like, I've worked 2 jobs traditionally in my entire life, or more, just the way it was. And for people to have the balls and audacity to go, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and quit and not have anything else lined up. Yeah, I hate it. But on some level, you almost have to respect it because that's a crazy move to make if you have bills or a family or anything.
Who's doing that? I mean, is it people who the only people I can see doing that would be people living with their parents because they can do that. They're like, hey, take your job and shove it. I'm going to go back to my mom's basement, which I live in anyway.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Are there people with families quitting and not lining things up? Is that you think that's happening now?
I think it's definitely happening. Yeah, I
and
do.
what are they doing? The government money ain't shit.
It's not.
If you have a decent job, government money ain't shit.
And unemployment ain't shit. I mean, I think I've I think I took unemployment one time in my life for like 2 weeks before I found another
Yeah.
job. And that was it. But guess what? That wasn't anything. That wasn't doing anything
Well,
for
you
me.
pay into it anyway. You pay into it.
You're paying into it, yeah, and then you get it out. It's just not
Well, you know what I still find
ideal.
bizarre is, okay, did you hear about like when Ron DeSantis came in, and then the COVID hit, and then the unemployment thing, the big scandal about that, where Ron DeSantis said there was a guy they hired, the firm that they hired to do the unemployment system was specifically designed by Rick Scott to not let you get your unemployment. It's like they hang up on you. It's like they program. You can't get nothing done through the Rick Scott. They paid this guy $10 million or $20 million to come up with a system, but all it did was deny people unemployment, and we have the lowest unemployment claims that get paid in the country.
And it's because you have to go through all this due diligence to actually make it happen.
Like you'd be on the phone for a week and not get through. I mean, like 2 weeks. They made it impossible. You'd be like, you get 18 steps in and there's 20 steps, back to zero.
Yeah, that is weird.
And DeSantis was like, yeah, it's a real clunker. We'll fix it. And that's all. You never heard it. It's like so you got proven fraud. They were like, yeah, that's what it was designed to fail. But nothing ever happens. And DeSantis never mentioned. He never dogged Rick Scott for screwing the people of Florida out of their unemployment that they paid into. So why is he not like any other politician?
Oh yeah, for sure. He was eating next to me in a Cracker Barrel a few years back. Everyone's like, "Oh, there's Rick Scott. You want to go say hi?" I go, "Absolutely not." I do not want to go say hello to Mr. Rick Scott. There's not a chance in hell.
How did he get elected, and get to where he is, looking like not only is he not a he has no charisma. He's like an alien. Rick Scott was the prototypical, the government's run by aliens. He's Bat Boy. He's
Bat Boy. Yeah, he looks like the thing on the cover. Ah.
He's gruesome.
Because he's rich. That's in reality. I
That's
mean, if you think about it, he
rich.
sunk so much money in his campaign. Whether you love him or hate him, you just can't deny that, right? He just sunk so many. He became too big to fail. If he would have lost, Jesus, what a giant L that man would have taken to put all that personal fortune up and still lose.
He was rich.
Yeah.
You can be responsible for the biggest Medicare fraud fine in the history of Medicare and become governor and then senator. Because you're rich. Because that's all that matters. Ice-T said it best.
Oh, pray tell, Ice-T.
Ice-T said it best. Black lives don't matter. Rich lives matter.
Wasn't that Ice Cube?
No, it was Ice-T.
It was Ice-T?
No, it's Ice-T. It was Ice-T.
Yeah, I'm pretty goddamn certain it was Ice-T. Oh, my God. Ice-T said it best.
And they don't get if you're black and rich, you got just as many rights as the white person. But if you're white and poor, they're going to bust you for meth and take you to jail and get you in the system, just like,
Yeah.
it's all the same.
Who's the richest African American politicians out there? Is there
Politician.
There was that guy who owned, what was it, Godfather's Pizza or something? I think he passed away. But he seemed somewhat loaded in the.
I know who you're talking about, but he was kind of off.
How sad. He was off, but how sad is that we can't even remember who the guy was?
Yeah.
But as far as like
rich black politician, Barack Obama.
Fair. Okay, yeah. There's not a lot.
Maxine Waters, I imagine, is quite rich, but she's old as dirt. Yeah, I'm trying to.
Warnock.
I know the name.
I'm throwing it out there. It sounds familiar, but I'm not exactly sure.
Cory Booker. Hey,
is he loaded?
I'm just naming black politicians that I can think of.
Yeah, there's not a ton.
Not.
There's not a ton. But then Pelosi, I think I despise Nancy Pelosi just from a general perspective.
Oh God, how could you not? See, that's what I don't understand is how could you not despise her? Just no matter what party you're in. Ugh. Mitch McConnell.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, your guy if you're Republican and she's your gal if you're Democrat. These just absolute pieces of crap.
Just picture her drinking just a giant bottle of wine
Every night.
Just a big bottle, and it's staining her teeth and
Their big fake breasts that you paid for.
her salami tits, her liver spots running down her arms,
Ripping up the Constitution.
her terrible lipstick, and her eyes just drooping.
And her and her husband doing shots and then eating baby fetuses and
Adrenochrome,
adrenochrome parties.
loofah sponges on golf carts.
That's just heinous. They see we've gotten to the point. Like Russell Brand was saying. He was saying, talking about the space lasers. He's like, of course, space lasers did it. He said, not really, but it's believable, ain't it? Of course you believe it, because the poor people are going to get screwed, and the elites are going to get the money, so it might as well be space lasers. And you're like, yeah, might as well be space lasers. Something ain't right. I mean, everything about that story is just crazy. There's all the missing, all the dead. Most of the dead are going to turn out to be kids because they were sent home from school. No sirens. I saw an interview with a guy who wouldn't let him have the water. Like they wouldn't turn on the water to fight the fires.
Yes.
And he's this Hawaiian guy. He's going, the sacred water of the Hawaiian. And he's spouting all this bullshit like, wildfires, turn on the water. Did you see that?
I did not see that part, no.
I swear. I mean, a whole press conference, and I watched like about a minute and a half of it. I was like, what is this guy talking about? He's going to the land, India with the Papapua, and our land of the water is so sacred. And when you talk about the water and think about decisions to be made with what the water is going to, and you're like, it's a wildfire that's wiping out your entire island, and you're like giving this bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, you are living on land that also has giant volcanoes that may still be active at some point in time. It takes a real... you got to have a giant pair to go, I'm going to live on this island. I don't care if there's a volcano that could spew and explode at any time. You've really... by living in Hawaii, you've really taken an immediate risk from the jump, right? I mean, you're living in paradise that at any point in time can just be covered in fire. And
or not for 100 years will it be covered in fire. And you're willing to take that gamble,
Either way, giant pair.
But or tomorrow, it
Yes.
could blow. And originally the islands were formed when that volcano blew up.
Right.
So when it really, you've seen the eruptions and the magma flowing. That's not, when it's a Mount St. Helens kind of deal, and it blows up, 20 square miles around it. That's a whole different story.
That's
or
what I
maybe
mean.
it blows up the whole island.
I mean, they got a sack on them. Anybody living over there has got giant balls. I mean, to be able to make that move. If you go, look, Florida, we've got hurricanes. Okay, we've got some tornadoes.
It's hurricanes. I mean, I can't think of nothing else in Florida.
It's not crazy.
It's
not crazy. We're not living on a giant volcano that could erupt at any moment in time.
And with a hurricane, if you're not worried about your property so much, you just want to stay alive. They always know that a hurricane's coming. You know, it's 3 days out. You're like, all right, I'm going to go fly to Atlanta.
Yeah, it's not like surprise.
No, I mean, it's guaranteed. You're going to know, even if it's the cone isn't sure, you can get out of there.
Yeah.
A tornado, you can't. There's wildfires, you can't. There's volcanoes, you can't. So I never worried about hurricanes.
My biggest worry about hurricanes is this is such a first world problem to have. It's like, man, I hope my pool screens don't rip down because those are expensive and a real pain in the ass to replace.
That's it's the first thing to go. Is the pool screen.
But like, what a terrible thought!
Oh,
Like,
no.
what a first world problem to have. My pool screens.
So concerned about my lanai. Oh,
And the panels are big. They're not small panels. These are large panels, which
it's going to be quite a pain to replace them all.
quite a pain.
Yeah.
And your power goes out for a couple days, and then you're back to good.
It ain't no big deal. I mean, look,
volcano.
If you live on the coast, you do take the once or twice in a lifetime chance that a hurricane's gonna do what Ian did to you.
Yeah.
But it's not like, I mean, look, if you could say the volcano, you got a better chance of getting a hurricane than a volcano.
Yeah, but if the volcano happens, man,
You're effed.
You're effed. You're not getting out. I mean, you're really in a bad situation. This is like
I wouldn't personally. I'm just not looking to live near a volcano.
Yeah, exactly. How about the guy who goes, yeah, do you regret not sounding the alarm? He goes, no. I get his reasoning.
What
was
his reasoning?
Because it would have driven more people. They wouldn't have known exactly what it was, so it would have driven more folks inland towards the fires as opposed to away from them. So
I don't think it would have taken people too long to figure it out, though.
Once they smell smoke and you're like, this place smells like a giant barbecue.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's really cutting it.
Yeah, I don't know either. It was funny to see him go no, though. He just goes, no, don't regret it. Not sounding the alarm at all.
It's like the guy didn't regret releasing the water. And they must not have regretted it. I think they blocked the only road out of Lanai. It was blockaded. I mean, everything is like, it's, you know.
Do you regret blocking the road? No.
It says in the handbook. No. You got to block the road.
There's water all around. You jump in.
There, you think all this conspiracy and space lasers and, or maybe in every form of government, in every state of the union, the cronyism and the incompetence and the corruption, Jeff's, third cousin is in charge of the water because he won the election and he put his third cousin who is, not too bright, but, that's what our government is now. Nothing's ever getting done. Nobody's ever coming to save the day. It ain't happening.
We're all just kicking the can, man.
We're all just kicking the can till it hits that house of cards and knocks it all down.
Yep, kicking the can. Even the debate tonight, I'm excited because it's always the talk of, hey, if Trump gets in, these people haven't said anything bad about him, so they'll probably seek out some sort of cabinet position. And you go, oh, that's right. That's what it's all about. Like, you don't really want to be president. You don't have a shot in hell of winning, but you might be able to just kiss enough ass to get a cabinet position when he does get in, right?
And isn't that how it normally goes? Like, normally, they bitch fight a little, doing the things, but like this would be, DeSantis, his time would be probably in 4 years. That's it. And so let's get together as a party because we really got to get, as Republicans, we got to get Joe Biden out of there. But no, it's just they hate each other. It's like division upon division. I don't get it. But I ain't watching the debate.
Are you not going to watch it?
Tell me how it goes.
I might. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to watch it. I'm kind of interested in all that stuff. I'm
interested in it. I'm just like, it nauseates. Sometimes events like that nauseate me so much I can't watch them because they're all just lying. They're all just out there plumb lying.
I always, after the State of the Union address.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's the worst. And I always like to do the juxtaposition of watching Fox News and watching CNN, right? Because afterwards they analyze the speech and talk about how, then they have their experts on and go, well, Biden said this. And to watch the difference between the two networks of their post-speech, analyzation of it is an insanely different world. And if you're only watching that channel or that channel, you're
brainwashed.
Really brainwashed. You're in a bad place.
And we're in America, and you have CNN, which is crazy left, and Fox, which is crazy right, and there's never
gray
the middle channel ever. Why is there not the middle channel that says, well, they say this about the speech and they say that? Well, let us tell you what the speech really meant.
Yeah,
that ain't.
Nobody's interested in the gray, but that's why I literally have to watch both networks, and I flip back and forth, or I'll run to one room to the next, and because I like to get a decent perspective of both ends.
I do that too.
I think it's only,
but like gray, people like Joe Rogan and Russell Brand, they've been demonized to be right-wing lunatics.
By default.
When before they were just regular, Russell Brand would never have ever been construed as a right winger.
I would have totally thought he would be more
left.
I
was absolutely.
Until listening to his stuff over the past year, and you go, "Oh, wow.
Guy's brilliant." I mean, in my mind, he's brilliant.
It's almost like Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck's obviously conservative, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you listen to the way Glenn Beck's thoughts have formed over the last 15 years, if there's some argument to be made there, he's almost on a conspiratorial campaign.
He's gone way that way.
Like not Alex Jones
No.
conspiracy, but you can listen to Glenn Beck and hear hints of him going, "Hey man, wake up. This is the government's lying to you," which traditionally the right wing, talk show hosts are not necessarily going to do that.
Not really, no.
He's coming out and going, "Something's off here. Something bad is going to happen. Here's what I anticipate." And which is a refreshing thing, but you never would think of Glenn Beck being like a conspiracy guy. And he cloaks it well and he masks it well. And it's not quite deep conspiracy, but there's definitely some level to it.
Maybe he's just chasing that dollar. He sees to wherever the way the wind blows, Glenn Beck goes, because that's he. I like Glenn Beck and I enjoy listening sometimes. He always strikes me as a charlatan, though. He's like such a charlatan. I just can feel it in my bones.
See,
He's
that's
a
you feel that in your bones. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it. I don't have an opinion on whether or not he's in that camp or not. I just think it's nice to have a right-wing talk show host who's not entirely.
Well, I mean, it's becoming more mainstream to embrace certain conspiracy theories because they've basically come true.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, you look at the track records.
It's like, and it's we were talking about the truth earlier. Okay, doesn't matter what you believe about what. Okay, ivermectin. It's an FDA-approved drug that is used all over the world to prevent worms and stuff in people in third world countries. And when it was used against COVID, it was demonized even by the FDA as horse dewormer, and people were resoundingly mocked for using it. And just recently, the FDA said, "Yeah, you could use that for COVID treatment. We get it. Doctors can do that." But there's no, nah. You were completely wrong. You're not. There's no satisfaction anymore. Was I talking to you about this? Saying about back in the day, you go to a bar and you say something stupid,
Yeah.
people would clown you. But now you can say all the stupid shit you want, and you never have to eat crow, even when your stupid shit is proven to be stupid.
Yes.
And it's like, I think that's bad for society. You got a bunch of egomaniacs who don't ever think they're wrong when they're wrong all the time.
Yeah, and then you talk about the ivermectin, and it goes back to the whole retraction thing. Look at how small that was. Look at what a minor blurb in the news cycle that was. Of going, you know what? Turns out it worked, and you move on. And nobody gets their just deserves of going, hey man, I've been saying this for years. Nobody. And then society moves on.
And it sure wasn't a brief horse dewormer.
No.
Was it the FDA? Or the CDC, either one of those. They tweeted out, they're mocking people,
Yes,
for using ivermectin, and then later they flip 180, and that's just a blurb. You get no satisfaction. See, that's what's making people crazy. There's no satisfaction.
No satisfaction. Yeah. No, I'm with you. There's no satisfaction, but
See, I'm like, you got to back off like that. I didn't argue too much in the comments about the Matt and Mike show, or the Mike and Matt show, whatever you want to call it. New name hopefully coming. And this one woman, she's like, what'd she say? She's just like, I'm very disappointed in you, Mike.
Oh.
And so I'm like, okay. I said, well, you must have been listening to a pathological liar for about the last 10 years.
It was from Donna.
I think it was. And she comes back and says, no, I'm a free thinker. And it's like, where you've got no information from but one source, but yet you're a free thinker because you believe the one source, because you're someone, like the people we've been talking about for the last 2 hours.
There's a lot. I will tell you, going back to the not to go way back, but going back to the Calta thing, I ended up watching the video of the questions that Broad was asking him initially.
Oh, so they got all that stuff.
Yes,
yeah.
And she was bringing these emails, and she's like, here's an email from Richard Pierce on this date and saying that you did this. And I'm sitting back and I'm watching it, and I'm going, okay. Like, because nobody knows the puzzle pieces. Like, nobody knows actually what's going on. And I can't say it. I have an agreement in place. I can't say it. So I have to almost rely on other people to
Bring
find
it
these
out. Find it out.
breadcrumbs. And it's interesting to watch some of these breadcrumbs. I mean, if you would have thought I did this 10 years ago, I was accused of this and this and this. If you were to follow the trail and follow the track, my involvement's, less and less.
Yeah.
And there's others that is more and more. And I just have
Vast
to,
conspiracy.
and I'll take the brunt, and that's cool, and whatever. I can't do anything about it, literally. But it is interesting to see these other things coming out, and there's more, and but they'll, eventually.
It'll be like the government. It slowly comes out. And,
Yeah, 30 years from now, everything will come out, but nobody will care.
Nobody, and that's how it is.
Nobody will care.
And that's how it is. I mean, like the people, like, if you listen to the show, you get a dose, or I don't listen anymore. It's been 4 years, but while I was there, I got a 2 or 3 year dose. I can't even remember how many years of it's a sex tape.
Yeah.
Ruined the career. The sex tape ruined the career, and it's like, well, you're doing fine until you cheated on the ratings. And then we never got a job again. I think it was the ratings cheating. I mean, it's like black and white.
Yeah.
We had our own station named after, it's like us.
It appears though that was conveniently skipped over.
Yeah. It's conveniently. It's like we had our own station. We were, starting to rise in the ratings. It wasn't a great signal. I mean, there's a lot of potential there. It's a really out of the box station, and it was doing well. And cheated on the ratings, and we never worked again.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason. I mean, what are you talking? How is it not the reason?
But you're crazy to suggest. You're crazy to
exactly.
suggest that, and it's like that's the most plausible explanation. Like that's just the way it goes. You just can't do that.
You can't cheat on the radio. If somebody gets like Pete Rose can't get in the Hall of Fame because he cheated in baseball, and the baseball people were like, "Yeah, he's the baseball cheater." You can't cheat in the ratings in radio, and who's going to hire you? When your competition go, well, he did cheat on the ratings, and it says he's number one, but who's to say if that's real? Who's hiring you? Nobody.
Yeah, and then you're going to blame it on something else that has zero to do with you getting fired, zero to do with any of it. Honestly, it's all the ratings cheating. Like that was just a simple
because
fact.
sex tapes are not important to people.
It's like fodder.
Kim Kardashian doesn't have to explain her sex tape at all.
And she's doing better than ever.
She's like $4 billion. She capitalized on her sex tape. Quite the businesswoman.
The Paris Hilton sex tape. Now,
no problem. I saw her in an ad for something just yesterday. She's not taboo.
Now, I can't say with any certainty that. Let me just say that I can't say with any certainty this is true.
Of course not, man.
Okay, but I had some pretty good connections at TMZ and all these places, right? What I had heard, and again, not saying it's true, but what I had heard was that her sex tape, they actually went in and refilmed some of it because she didn't like the way she looked.
I can see that.
And it's, you can almost, it doesn't seem like an out-of-the-box theory.
I mean, it's almost like, be like, you just go to, you're quasi-famous, and somebody's quasi-famous, and go, hey, let's screw. We'll make a good sex tape, make it really good, porn quality, and put it out there, and we'll both bank on it. And it sure worked out for her.
It sure did.
For 10, I don't know, just her, what is it, her Spanx? What's the name of that thing?
Skims.
Skims is like worth $4 billion, I think I heard.
It's crazy.
Underwear.
God
Sex
bless
tape gets you a $4 billion underwear empire.
And none of those girls look anything like they. Have you ever seen the pictures of? Was it? Oh God, I don't even know the name of them all. There's one of the Jenners. Was it Kylie? She's got the big old lips now.
Chloe?
No,
I don't know. I don't even.
Well, I guess you could take any of them and go back and just Google
how
what
many
they look like pre-plastic surgery. It is nuts to see how their faces are fucking remixed. It is crazy. And to think that these guys are going to have these babies that come out perfect, and these chicks with their faces that are fucking remixed is insanity. The babies aren't going to look like that. Your kids are. Your kid's going to look
Yeah.
nothing even close. Your kid needs a lot of plastic surgery to make it look like the baby mama. You know what I mean? But all these guys, they think that
Maybe these women are so stupid they think that the baby will come looking out like them after plastic surgery. I think they're that dumb.
I think
they're
some
that
are that
dumb.
dumb.
Did you ever see
Like the nose is going to transfer or something like that.
I've seen people on TikTok saying I've had plastic surgery, so my baby will have a naturally small
my
nose, and I'm
God.
like, is that real?
Oh
or-
God!
Did you see the South Park that when they roasted Kim Kardashian, called her a troll the whole time,
No.
oh, it's such a good with
I gotta see it.
Kanye the whole time's defending her, and my wife is not a troll. It's like,
Oh, yes,
it's a
yes.
good one. It's a good one.
That's
They
so
do better than anybody.
They sure do. They sure do. Oh
troll.
my God. Well, I got to tell you, I've had a blast.
Yeah, I think people are digging the Mike and Matt show. I'm telling you, they're
Are
loving
they?
it. They're loving it.
Yeah, you text me and
loving
you go, the reviews are in. Mike
Views
and
are in.
Matt's a hit.
It's a smash. You know, I think the wasteland of entertainment. You know, like there's a lot of people who are popular today who are popular because they just got in and rode a wave, and they were at the right place at the right time, and they knew how to. If you like joined YouTube at the right place at the right time, and you knew how to work it, like I don't know how to work this shit. I'm terrible at it, but if you know how to work it, you know you can get. You know, you see these people making these like $20 million a year, and go that guy would have never got hired in radio because he sucks, but he's got $20 million a year on YouTube.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I'm with you. I don't know necessarily how to work all that. Also, right? I mean, let's be honest. I just like to have a good conversation and have some fun. If somebody else could help with that aspect, that'd be great. Because I don't,
I'm always like, where I don't even know how to find like a digital marketer. It's like I don't even know who does that, and how do you know that you're not getting taken for a ride?
That's the rub. Is there's plenty of digital marketing. I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, they are everywhere. The problem is finding one that's not gonna BS you.
And so, somebody who actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Content's never been my problem.
I know.
I think like what we do, conversation is a lost art, and they just throw two people together. It's like when they threw me in with MJ, they don't care that you have zero chemistry with the person, zero chemistry. I was like, they don't care if you have zero chemistry. Here's your money and do it and make it work. And like having chemistry with something makes it's not work. Like we just talked for 2 hours. I don't know. Talked about a few things I had written down and talked about a hell of a lot of other stuff that was all over the road.
Yeah, it is interesting. And
because we just have that connection.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I've gotten thrown in with guys before in radio where I didn't know them. They were moving here. They were new, and they're going, hey, you're going to be teamed up with this guy. And you're like, Jesus Christ.
Can't wait to
really?
meet him, maybe.
Yeah, and then you do that forced interaction of going to dinner and seeing. It's like it's dating, right? You're trying to get this feeling out process, and you just know that like this is not gonna work out.
I mean, you usually meet somebody, you either hit it off or you don't.
Yeah.
When we went out to a dinner with MJ Kelly, when they were bringing him on after the dinner, I was just like, I want to kill myself. I would never like talk to this guy. If I was at a party with this guy, I would talk to him for like 5 minutes. Go, get away from this asshole. I hate it. I big blowhard BSer. I hated him. I had to sit in there with him, for over a year or two, just miserable.
But that might have been. But that doesn't make him a bad broadcaster or a bad. It's just there's just a different style and a different perspective on things, and some people you jive with, and some people you don't.
I never understood. Then he went into political discourse, the Schnitt show, and I thought he was terrible at that. I just don't find anything he says interesting, and he didn't make it very far in talk radio. I think he got to Newsmax, and then he may still be on it, but nobody watches Newsmax. Nobody's watching the Schnitt show.
Yeah, well, I think he canceled that. So he stopped doing that show.
Oh, and I was on Q105.
Yeah, and it was syndicated, doing that Schnitt show through, I think, Compass Radio Networks, and then he decided to stop it and sort of concentrate on his morning show, which Man, the Q105, dude, when I was a kid, when I was probably 10 years old, something like that, when Q105 was around, I mean, that was my station. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
That was...
Everybody else, you know, it was the
And
most popular station. They played everything because they could.
And that's all it was. That's all there really was at that time. So, and then when Power Pig came on and they had like Tim and Tom at night, originally it was like, they probably made somebody ahead of that, but they had Tim and Tom, and I thought Tim and Tom were like the most original, funny. I thought it was hilarious. Now, keep in mind, I was like 10 years old, right? So it was like sophomore
Yeah, I mean, it was this show was just god awful.
Whatever was going on, I was
But
just
they were out. I
fascinated.
mean, not something that you would normally hear. I mean, they were out. You know.
Yeah, I was just
Way
fascinated
different.
with the way that radio war was
Oh,
coming
it was.
together.
Yeah, it was.
And even me being 10 years old or whatever, I still was like, this is a radio war. I was like, this is great. And I was the kid, and I had my home phone, my landline, and I'm calling the request line at Q105. And I'm going, hey, man, what's going on with the station? They're really beating up on you bad. We're not worried about it. Then I call Power Pig and go, hey, man, Q105 said they, like, I was literally trolling at 10 years old, calling both stations and trying to, like, spark that war and to see that war take place. It was so genius. It was brilliant. I loved every second of it.
Oh, I mean, we'd go through the parking lot of Q105 and fire bottle rockets at them and stuff. It was like, it was. And we'd flip them off, and we have all our. I mean, that's pretty. Gotta. If you've been dominating the market as Q105, personality for 20 years, and all of a sudden everybody you see is flipping you off, wouldn't you be like?
Yeah.
I think that, and they went right. Yeah, we took them down, no problem.
I mean, the first person I ever met was Mason Dixon at a mall in Newport Richie when I was, again, 8, 9 years old or whatever it was, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's on the radio. Oh my God, this is amazing. Like, it was a really, honestly, it was a highlight of my life. You always wanted
Everybody knew Mason Dixon in Tampa.
It was crazy.
And it was up until about a year or two ago that he was doing afternoons on Q105. So he'd been in here like 40, 50 years.
I mean, a crazy run.
Then they finally kicked him to the curb.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, business is changing.
All right. Thanks for stopping by, Matt.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Had a good time. Thanks for tuning in to the Mike and Matt Show. And we will be seeing you again soon. We'll be seeing you tomorrow morning, Cluster F, 8 o'clock. Have a good one.